I just got off the phone with George Skates, and what he told me is really hard to ignore. Now, this wasn't about the trial and it wasn't about the verdict, because this was about what happened before all of that, the part most people never hear. George walked me through it himself. The moment he realized law enforcement was looking for him, what happened next, and how things escalated. And the moment it turned physical, he told me how he was shot, how he was taken into custody, and what it was like waking up in jail dealing with that injury. Now, like I said, there's no courtroom filter here. There's no summaries or secondhand version. Just his account, start to finish. Now, listen, this doesn't mean you accept it. It doesn't mean you agree with it. But it does mean it's important. Because when someone has spent decades behind bars, their voice, well, especially about those final moments of freedom, is something people should hear for themselves. This is a part of the story that never gets laid out like this, not in reports and not in headlines, and not the way you're about to hear it. Listen to George in his own words. Then come back here and tell me what stands out to you. And what I want to ask you, what I want to ask you is, how did you find out you were the suspect?
Oh, that's a great story. I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
See, I was, I had a home, wife, kid, had my own business, and now I had a dump truck. I don't work for a company no more. That's screwed around. But anyway, like, yeah, I'm around there. I know a lot of people, And one of my people called me one day. He said, "Brother," he said, "I got some bad news for you." I said, "What?" He said, "Well, they're going to be coming after you in a week or so for a murder and an armed robbery in Findlay, Ohio." I said, "Get out of here, man. What are you talking about?" So he said, J.C. Rogers, which was Jimmy Rogers, Nicky Rogers, and Jack Benton's a lawyer. He's got a cousin up there that I know, Terry Granger or Terry Putoff, whatever you want to call him. And he told, J.C. Ratliff told his cousin there to get word to me that they're going to be coming after me on this murder charge. What the hell is this? So I'm staying right there. I live out there, like, um, I didn't go nowhere. I stayed right there at the house, like it didn't move, didn't run. I could have been out of this country if I had actually committed that murder, Yeah. I could have been gone. But anyway, the town constable up there, up in the town where I'm at, I used to around with him, good friends. And he never come out on my road, never. I've seen him come out on my road a couple times. I don't have much traffic on my road. So I'm sitting there listening to this shit like this. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? So Paul come out and told me all this shit, about they was going to pick me up whenever I went into town one morning. They thought I went to town every morning, but I didn't. Anyway, they was going to pick me up then. They put it off or whatever. But anyway, I had an errand to run, and I took my boy with me, Shane Wesley, and I had to go to Columbus. So I went down there and took care of my business and come back home. And by the time I got to the house, like I drove my mother-in-law's car. I didn't drive mine. I just drove my mother-in-law's. I had my Bronco parked out back, and they didn't even know I had a Bronco. That's how smart they are. They didn't see it. But anyway, I said, no, we Cindy and I went out in front. One of the very few times we'll ever sit out in front of the house. The whole time we've been there. Anyway, like this deputy come by. He started and stopped 3 times and looked at me. Stop. Looked at me. I said, oh. This guy's got a dead hatred for me, And I told her, I said, I'm gonna get that boy. I said, get to the house. I said, something ain't right here. So I went in there. Now I got this sophisticated scanner action. I got the phone. I got it all. I live by that. And I hear the sheriff up there somewhere. He was observing my house. He said the subject ain't had no traffic in his driveway all day. So I said, man, this dude's talking about me. I told Cindy, I said, this is how bitch is talking about me. I said, they're coming after me. I thought it was a drug bust. That's what I thought. So I grabbed the money. I grabbed whatever money I had, and I had 3 pounds of pot in the house. And I took it and ran. They let me get in the woods. That's over. It's, they're done, And I got a portable scanner. It was the same thing as I got in there on the table, But my hands were so big it kept, pushing the buttons and taking me off frequency. But I know it by heart so I could get it back on there. So they're talking, and the deputies are up at the sheriffs are up at the judge's place there, trying to get a search warrant for my weapons. And the high sheriff told him, he says, well, you guys better come on out here. It's getting dark here pretty quick. It gets dark in the woods quicker than, earlier than otherwise. So he said, you better come on, be out here. So he said, we'll be out here directly. So I'm in the woods. I'm going, and I hear them talking on there, about, well, it's about 10 minutes to breathing time. Well, anybody think common sense? I know what they're talking about, Yeah, so anyway, they come out there, and I told Cindy before I left the house, I said, get over there get Bronco out there and get over on the Sawmill Road and pick me up and get me out of here. She come over through there, and it's really funny. They come down a lane, about a quarter of a mile lane from where the road was. And this farmer was running his field, was tilling his field. He was going east and west, running east and west, and he turned north and south. Well, you could see in them woods. He had big old lights on that tractor and everything. He could have ran all night long. Yeah. I've seen the cops go down through there, the sheriff, whoever, one by one. I seen a whole bunch of them. The bastards seen me. They looked at me. They seen me. I went on, got back in the woods. I told Cindy, I said, get the hell out of here, So she turned, it's funny, she turned around that boy's bean field, tore his beans all to hell. I had to laugh at that. And she got up there I didn't know at the time, but I found out later that they stopped her. They said, what are you doing back there? She says, well, one of my dogs got loose. I had 6 shepherds. So he says, well, there's one of them running up yonder there with chain and all. Go on, get him, So they go over in front of my house, which is quite a distance from where I was at. And I'm thinking, these bastards are coming in there after me because they see me. So they had just fell a big old tree back there, a real huge tree. And I got up by the tree and put leaves all up around me and everything. I was camouflaged real good. And the only way they could have come in there, they'd have been in the crossfire if they'd come in there. They'd been shooting one another, stupid bastards. But they're over in front of my house. Talking about, George, this is your last chance. Come out. I said, yeah, right. You come and get me. They thought I was in the house. So they said they thought I was in the house, So my mother-in-law was coming home at that time. Mother-in-law went up there and got her, and she come to the house. And they stopped her and told her, George has got the baby in the chain, Cindy and the baby in the house here holding them hostage. Go unlock your door for me. She says, fuck you. Yeah, I was over there. She was pissed. She was having temper. And she just said, fuck you. And she said, you go open the door yourself. She said, I ain't helping you. And she was so sick, she started throwing up, because she really thought that I had Cindy and the baby in the house holding them hostage. And Cindy and the baby pulled up on them, and there she was, Cindy. Eleanor looked at her and said, you dirty son of a bitch. Oh, she cussed him like a moose pig, and she said, you told Mom, miss, lying, straight lying. So they found out, they couldn't, I just put the front door on there, a steel door. They couldn't kick that door in. I hadn't had a lock or nothing on the back door yet. They come and kicked it in and went in there and got this closed clothes, this thing you hang clothes on behind the door. There his fell apart and flew. And Cindy said he like to had a heart attack. It was funny. Then the high sheriff, I know the high sheriff over there, know him pretty well. Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. And he sat down in my chair. I had my own chair there, a rocker, and he broke the chair. Brand new chair. He broke it. So, you don't sit in my chair, Sheriff, man. Yeah, that was kind of funny. But he told all them other police officers and whoever, he says, you don't have shit on this, man. This is a bunch of shit. And he says, I'm leaving here. And then they left. And they said, I heard this whenever I went to the county jailhouse. It was like 30 or 40 deputies out there, had many 14s and everything else, all lined up in the fence line, the ditch line over there, and they's going to kill me. They wanted to kill me. Well, it don't make sense, because they started to big sting me. But anyway, I went on down, like, waited till that dude shut his tractor down and went to the house. Like I say, he could have ran all night long, and I'm all freaked out, paranoid, knowing that he can see me in there. He shut that tractor down and went to the house, and I low-called that field about a quarter mile up through there. Got out on the road and went down to the ditch and I went on down. I had two of my people lived down the road from me there. And so that's where I went. And went down to the furthest one. It's quite a ways. It took me till 4 o'clock in the morning to get there. And I asked him, I said, Jim, I said, what are you looking for? He said, you got a murder charge on you. I said, oh, man, damn. I told him, I said, well, look, man, I'm going on the other side of the river over here, and I'm going to sleep in the woods all day. So I'll come over here in the dark, and you take me out of here.
Did you know who?
So that's what he did.
Murder they was charging you with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Huh? You did what?
I said, did you know whose murder that they was charging you with, trying to get you for?
No, I had no idea who it was.
Okay.
You asked me in my email yesterday, I think it was, what was going through my head. I was totally just, what in the hell is this?
Yeah.
I knew nothing about this. What is it? I just absolutely knew. I didn't know what to do.
So you went.
You know.
So you said you was going to go to the river and lay low.
I went across the river over there. One of my brother's houses. Lived on one on the other side of the river there. I slept in the woods all day. And when it got dark, I come out and he took me on Springfield. Well, there's people up there like this. A dealer. It's a dealer up there, you know. And I said, man, all kind of people, man. I said, no, I can't stay here. My God, man. So I got a brother over in Dayton. I said, yeah, take me over to brother's house, you know. And I went over there and hung out in Dayton for a while. And dude come home one morning. He said, Robert, he said, what the hell did you get into? He said, you're all over the newspaper, the TV, and everything else. He said, they're looking for you. I said, damn. Now I'm all fucked up. I don't know what to do. And the kids are over there. I'm in one bedroom, and the kids are over there across from me in another bedroom watching TV and whatever. And the little girl, she's sharp as a tack. She's about 8 years old, 10 years old, something like that. She come over and she says, what's your last name? I said, oh, shit. She seen the shit on the TV. She put it together, you know. When you come to the house, I said, brother, I said, I got to get the hell out of here. I said, Danielle come over here and ask me what my last name was and all. She's wise to this shit now. I got to go. So he took me all out there, and I went down through, I don't know nothing about Bill Fountain or Banner, all through there. So I left out of Dayton going north, and we went through Urbana, and that's right close to Bill Fountain where they had the war for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it. So I went to Cleveland, and hung out up there. I wouldn't even leave the house, man. I was petrified. The rumor has it like they got a $10,000 bounty on me. I said, man, what the hell, man? I can't even leave the house because she don't trust nobody, you know. Mm-hmm. Then, dumbass me, a couple months went by, And I went back to the house. I walked right in the front door of my house. And brother let me out down there, and I said, I'll be seeing you, man. I'll make a way.
Why did you go back? What made you do that, George?
I'm a family man. I love my woman, my kid. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just stunned. I don't know. I mean, if I would have committed this crime, could have been over. I could have been out of this country. It's plain and simple. I mean, I wouldn't have to stick around. I stuck around. I didn't move a muscle. I didn't go nowhere. So I went back and go ahead.
You went back?
I went back to my house. Yeah, walked right in the front door. Yeah, I did. It's late at night now, of course, but. So anyway, like I go down to the basement, and it's cold down there, so I'm gonna sleep down there. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I know I can't stay there. You know, if I get caught in the house, they're going to charge Cindy and her mom and whatever else. You know, I'm laying there like a Cindy, and I got into it. And I got a big mouth on me. I just don't know when to shut up. So that's the way it is. But I think she tried to make it look like I got physical with her, but I didn't. I just running my mouth there. I said, why don't you get the fuck out of my life and leave me alone? And she come down there, she had a blanket with her. She had it draped over her hands. And I'm running my fat mouth. Don't know when to shut up. And she dropped that blanket and says, no more. She pulled that pistol out there on me. And she shot me.
Oh my goodness.
She shot me. I said, what the fuck? This is the damnedest thing I ever seen in my life. And when she shot me, they all ran out of the house. She went into town there. She had a ex-sister-in-law, but she went up there and she sent the emergency squad out there. And of course, all the gunshots along like that, the sheriffs had to come out there. Like, and here I am. I'm in the basement, and my mouth gets real dry. So I go upstairs to the refrigerator, and I get a drink of this water, and there's a little bit of water in this jug. I drank that, turn around and walk away, and mouth got real dry again. Turn around and walk through a little bit of milk in the jug, so I drank that. So I went down and I'm going, I didn't even hurt. I didn't feel it. My arm it moved my arm in two. Never even bled a drop. Not one single drop. Unbelievable. And I go back down to the basement, put on my boots, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I have no idea. I just don't know. So I called my brother-in-law, and I told him, I said, look, Cindy shot me. I said, you tell her to keep her mouth shut. Don't cock the shit. I shot myself. That's all she needs to know. So they come out there and they took me away in a little funny big wagon, put me in the hospital. I was there for about a couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever it was, I don't know. And then they took me to Bill Fountain. And there it was from there on, you know, like Dr. Franklin over there was a real decent dude. I got along with him real well. And he was all excited because he got this new method that he could put my arm back together. It moved 3/4 inch of the bone out and split the bone all the way up to the shoulder. And he said, I got this outfit that he could put on there, like adjust it and make it, you know, whatever, line it up. And he said, it's real good. I'm happy. He was tickled to death that he could do that. And it healed like you wouldn't believe. And then people in the jailhouse, they come over there and they got to be real persistent. They start coming there all the time. And they finally let them come in the cell and visit me. So 3 of them come in my cell one night. Now, this is the truth if I ever told it. I don't play about religion and stuff. But Dr. Franklin kept showing me the x-rays over there, how my bone was fusing back together. And I'm so stupid, I didn't even know that. I thought, well, you know, I know your bone could fuse back together. So anyway, he's telling me about all this, you know, and he's showing it to me and everything. And was over there like that dude prayed for me. And he got up and he touched my arm. And he says, Jesus, he says, heal this man's arm, make it better than it used to be. And I went back over there next time that thing was all but healed. The only thing that was wrong with it was my big bones put all the way up. And other than that, and then a chaplain come over there, a jailhouse chaplain. His name was Floyd. And he come up there to give me my medication one night. I leaned down the slot to get it. He seen this crucifix I had on. He said, "Do you believe in God?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm probably not the most religious person you ever seen, but I believe in God. Yes, I do." And he started coming in my cell. Open the door, leave it wide open. And he said, "Come in there, sit and talk to me." And he told me like this, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. He said, "If you ever..."
You have 1 minute remaining.
"If you ever turn your life around and become a witness for Jesus Christ, you'll be one of the most effective witnesses there ever was." I didn't know what he was talking about.
And that's where we're going to leave it for now. Shot, caught, and locked up. And somehow, right in the middle of all that chaos, George says something changed. Not physically, but spiritually. He talks about a moment that, to him, felt nothing short of a miracle. His arm healing in a way that he didn't expect. A chaplain stepping in and a doctor showing up. Not just medically, but personally. And whether you believe in divine intervention or you think there's another explanation, one thing is clear. That moment mattered to George, and it shifted something. But here's the real question. Did it change the course of his life, or just the way he tells the story? Because coming up next, we're going to start digging into what happened after that moment. The trial, the system, and the charges. And the version of events that doesn't always line up so neatly. I'm Christy, and this is Death, Lies, and Alibis. Stay with me.